My beloved, listen closely. This is urgent. God says, your son's prayers have reached heaven. Archangel Michael declares, every word he whispered in pain has been recorded in the courts of heaven. He cried out for help, and heaven answered. This is not a small matter. This is very serious. The hand of God is already moving on his behalf. You may not see it yet, but something shifted the very moment he prayed. The angels were dispatched. The battle over his destiny was stirred. Heaven says, do not fear, for what was meant to destroy him will not succeed. Your son has been heard. Your son has been covered. Your son will be protected. Beloved, I must warn you, there are forces that want to silence his voice, but the fire of his prayer was too strong. The cry of his spirit was too loud. Heaven says, this prayer broke through the resistance. That is why you are hearing this message today. It is your confirmation, but there is more. What heaven revealed about his future will shock you. Stay with me until the end, for I will unfold the deeper revelation. Before this message closes, you will understand why this battle is happening now. God says, your son's future is too bright to be hidden. The enemy knows the calling on his life, but hear me well. No darkness can cancel what God has already written. Archangel Michael declares, I have drawn my sword over his life. No trap will hold him. No curse will bind him. No plan will bury him. The covering is active. The shield is unbreakable. Beloved, if you feel this message is yours, seal it with faith now. Type in the comments, heaven heard my son. Declare it boldly, like this video, to agree with heaven's decree. Subscribe now so you never miss God's daily protection for your family. And if this word stirs your heart, share it with another parent, because their child may be the one heaven is also protecting. If you feel led, support this message with a super thanks, because each gift keeps these warnings and promises alive for others. Now hear the deeper truth. God says, your son carries the bloodline blessing. What was fought for generations past is resting on his shoulders. This is why his prayers shake the heavens. This is why his cry could not be ignored. Heaven is saying, his voice is not just his own. It is carrying the hope of your family line. And the enemy knows this. That is why the attacks have been so heavy. But rejoice, because the more the attacks rise, the more heaven increases the shield. Sweet soul, do not be afraid. God has written victory over your son's life. Archangel Michael declares, the assignment against him is cancelled. The covering is sealed. The angels are already standing guard. Stay expectant, because soon you will see evidence. Soon you will see signs. Soon you will witness the very things he prayed for begin to manifest. And you will know, heaven was listening all along. If this word touches your spirit, comment your angel number now to align with heaven. Say it with faith. Heaven heard my son. Do not leave this video without declaring it. Like, subscribe, share, and keep this prophetic flow alive. Because heaven says this is serious, and the answer is already unfolding. Beloved soul, heaven says the cry of your son has become incense before the throne of God. Every tear that slipped down his face when no one was watching, every whisper that broke from his lips when he thought no one was listening, all of it has been gathered by angels and carried into the courts of heaven. God says, I have not turned away from his voice. I have not ignored his cry. I have leaned down to hear him even when he could not hear me back. This is very serious because his prayer has pulled a release that was scheduled for later but has now been accelerated. His cry shifted timing. His tears unlocked what was delayed. This is why you are hearing this word in this moment, because the timing of heaven has shifted in your favor. Archangel Michael declares, the moment your son cried out, my sword was raised. The decree of protection was activated, and the armies of heaven were dispatched to stand over him in ways you cannot see, but will soon witness. This is not imagination. This is not coincidence. This is divine orchestration unfolding before your eyes. Precious one, understand this. When heaven says a prayer has been heard, it is not casual. It is final. Heaven does not announce what it has not secured. God says, the prayer of your son has been stamped with yes. The record of his cry has been sealed with my promise. No force on earth, no scheme of darkness, no whisper of the enemy will overturn it. That is why battles may feel intense right now. Because the enemy always fights hardest after heaven has released a decree. But take heart, because what is sealed above cannot be broken below. This is why the word to you today is not simply comfort, but warning, instruction, and assurance all wrapped together. Your son's destiny has been marked, and the pressure you see in the natural is proof of his spiritual breakthrough. Do not be shaken by what you see with human eyes. Heaven says, look deeper, discern sharper, believe stronger. There are movements behind the veil you cannot yet see. The very thing that looked like resistance will soon reveal itself as the stage for your son's miracle. God says, I am turning his silent nights into songs of testimony. I am rewriting the story that darkness tried to draft for him. I am lifting his name where the enemy thought he could only be forgotten. Archangel Michael declares, I have already broken the cords of delay that tried to bind him. I have already silenced the accusers who stood in secret counsel against him. Their words have been overturned. Their plans have been cancelled. Precious one, you need to know this. What your son carries is not ordinary, and that is why extraordinary resistance has followed him. But greater than the resistance is the fire that covers him now. Heaven reveals a deeper mystery to you. The prayer of your son is not just about him. It is about generations to come. His cry carried the weight of those who came before him and those who will come after him. He is a bridge, chosen to break patterns and unlock blessings that were withheld for too long. This is very serious, because if his cry had been ignored, a chain would have continued unbroken. But God says, I have interrupted the cycle through his voice. His prayer has cut the cord. His tears have ended what could not be ended by the strength of man. He will walk where his fathers could not. He will stand where his mothers fell. He will cross where others were stopped. He is the continuation of a promise, and I have chosen this generation to fulfill it. Sweet soul, do not dismiss the weight of what you hear. Your son is not forgotten. Your son is not overlooked. His struggle is not wasted. Heaven is saying every struggle he has faced is evidence of the greatness within him. Every obstacle has been a signpost pointing to the magnitude of his calling. He is not ordinary. He is not common. He is chosen, appointed, protected, and now accelerated. You will see with your own eyes the fruit of his prayer, and when you see it, you will remember this word. Heaven says, prepare to testify, for what is about to unfold will not only lift your son, it will lift your entire household. The oil that rests on him will drip into your family line. The covering that guards him will extend to you. The fire that surrounds him will encamp around those connected to him. This is not just his miracle, it is your household's miracle. Beloved, listen carefully. God says, do not allow fear to blind you in this season. Do not let anxiety choke the seed of faith. Stand firm, for what I have spoken will not fail. This is very serious, and it requires your agreement. Speak life over your son. Declare heaven's promises over him daily. Call forth what you have heard today, and refuse to give power to fear. The words you speak will become fuel to what heaven is already doing. Archangel Michael declares, as you speak life, we strengthen him. As you declare faith, we fight harder. As you release hope, we strike stronger against what opposes him. Do not underestimate the power of your agreement. And now, beloved, here is the cliffhanger that heaven leaves with you for this moment. God says, there is something hidden in his prayer that you do not yet know. There is a request he made in secret that heaven is about to reveal publicly. What he asked for quietly will manifest loudly. The answer will not just bless him, it will shock you. It will bless you. It will confirm to you that heaven truly heard him, because the very thing he thought too small to ask will be answered in a way too big to deny. That revelation is near, and you will soon see it unfold. If this word burns in your spirit, seal it now with a declaration. Type in the comments, heaven heard my son. Do not wait, write it in faith. Like this video as an act of agreement. Subscribe so you never miss the daily prophetic flow heaven is releasing over your life. Share this word so another parent may hear the confirmation their heart has been aching for. And if you feel led, release a super thanks to support this message, because every gift helps keep these words of hope and warning alive for many others who are waiting for heaven's voice. All right, Beloved soul, let us continue in the same prophetic river and pour deeper into this message. The Spirit says, what you are about to hear is no longer just confirmation. It is instruction, empowerment, and direction for your next step. Do not scroll away, for heaven declares that your son's prayer has not only been heard, it has become the seed of miracles. Yes, this is very serious because heaven has shifted timelines, and the fruit of his cry is about to manifest before your very eyes. God says, your son prayed when he felt unseen, but I saw him. He prayed when he felt small, but I called him great. He prayed when he thought his words were whispers, but to me they thundered in the heavens. His cry tore through barriers. His words rose higher than the opposition. His prayer traveled faster than the arrows of the enemy. Archangel Michael declares, I drew my sword the moment his voice rose, and I have been cutting down every unseen snare laid before him. Do not be deceived by what looks like silence. It is not silence. It is strategy. Heaven has been positioning, aligning, and clearing the way. Beloved, lean in now, because heaven says this. Your son's destiny carries a sound that cannot be muted. Even in his darkest nights, the angels encamped around him, protecting him from decisions that could have cost him everything. You may not even know the moments where he was spared, the paths where danger lurked, the nights when shadows surrounded him. But heaven says, we were there, and we will remain there until the fullness of his promise is seen. And yet, here is the deeper mystery. The breakthrough coming for him will not stop with him. God says, because of his prayer, I will visit your household. Because of his cry, I will heal old wounds. Because of his intercession, I will rewrite the story of your family line. The prayer of one will become the salvation of many. The cry of a son will become the testimony of a household. Heaven says, what he thought was his own pain was actually the key to generational freedom. This is why you must declare it aloud now. Do not remain silent in this moment. Speak it into the atmosphere, type it in the comments, seal it with your faith. Heaven heard my son. Say it again until your spirit trembles with the truth. Heaven heard my son. Like this video as a prophetic act. Share it so another parent will know they are not forgotten. Subscribe now so that every day your spirit is reminded that heaven is still speaking, still guiding, still protecting. And if your heart is stirred, release a super thanks to agree with heaven's work, because what you sow into God's word multiplies as covering over your own household. Precious one, hear this urgent word. God says, do not underestimate the prayer he prayed in weakness, for I will answer it with my strength. Do not belittle the tears he shed in confusion, for I will transform them into rivers of wisdom. Do not ignore the longing he carried in silence, for I will amplify it into songs of victory. Archangel Michael declares, the handwriting of accusation against him has been erased. The snares of the enemy have been burned. The chains of limitation have been shattered. The prayer that rose as a whisper has come back as a decree of freedom. And here is your cliffhanger, beloved. God says, there is a gift in his prayer that you have not yet discovered. Soon, heaven will reveal the very thing he asked for in secret. It will surprise you. It will astonish your household. It will confirm without doubt that his cry reached the throne of God. Watch closely, because in the coming days a sign will appear, an unmistakable confirmation that heaven heard and heaven has answered. So I ask you again, sweet soul, do you believe this? If you do, declare it boldly below. Type, heaven heard my son, and the answer is on the way. Like this video if you stand in faith. Subscribe so you do not miss the next prophetic revelation. Share this message so another family may hold on to hope. And if you are able, support this channel with a super thanks, because every act of faith releases more words of breakthrough into the world. Heaven says, stay ready, because the testimony is near. Beloved soul, let us go deeper still, for the Spirit says this word is not finished yet. Your son's prayer has opened a door in heaven, and that door is not closing, it is widening. God says, the very things he could not tell you, he told me. The secrets he buried in silence, I uncovered with love. The fears he hid from the world, I wrapped in my presence. His cry has created a highway for angels, and every time his lips trembled with prayer, another miracle began to move toward your house. This is why you are hearing this message now. Heaven is urging you, pay attention, stand in agreement, cover him with your voice as I cover him with my hand. Archangel Michael declares, the battles around your son have been fierce because his calling is great. Hell knows the assignment he carries, and that is why resistance has risen. But know this, the resistance is proof of his purpose. The warfare is evidence of the promise. The greater the pressure, the greater the release that is about to come. I have already gone before him. I have already cut down giants. I have already broken chains you cannot even see, and I will not stop until he walks fully into what God has written for him. Beloved, God says, do not be afraid of the delay, for delay is not denial. Do not be afraid of the silence, for silence is strategy. Do not be afraid of the waiting, for the waiting is weaving the perfect timing. The promise is intact. The protection is intact. The covering is intact. Heaven has not forgotten. Your son's prayer is echoing even now, and the sound of it is shaking open the very doors that once refused to budge. Listen carefully. Precious one, heaven reveals that your son has asked for something that seemed too big for his age, too bold for his position, too impossible in human sight. And yet God says, that request was not arrogance, it was alignment. That cry was not foolishness, it was faith. And because he dared to ask, I will dare to answer. Because he believed I was listening, I will show him I was closer than he imagined. Because he knocked, I will open. Because he stretched, I will extend. This is where you come in. God says, stand with him. Agree with him. Add your faith to his faith, your voice to his voice, your courage to his courage. Together, your agreement will accelerate what I am already doing. Heaven is urging you to respond now, not later. Type it in the comments as an act of faith. Heaven heard my son, and I stand in agreement. Let the declaration echo. Do not just watch, participate. Speak it until your heart believes it. Like this video to show heaven you are aligning. Share it with another parent who needs to know that their child is covered. Subscribe now so you do not miss the daily instructions heaven is pouring. And if you are moved, release a super thanks as a prophetic seed, because what you sow here will water the word over your son. Sweet soul, hear this revelation. God says, your son's prayer has marked him for miracles. He will not walk in the path of the forgotten. He will not be swallowed by the pit of despair. He will not be silenced by the weight of fear. His cry has sealed him under my wing, and no power will pluck him out of my hand. Watch closely, because even those who doubted him will soon witness my glory resting on him. Even those who mocked his tears will soon bow to the testimony of his triumph. Even those who tried to curse him will end up blessing him, for I will turn every curse into a crown, every word of darkness into a platform for light. Archangel Michael declares, I am standing guard over him day and night. I have stationed angels at his side. His steps are being ordered. His path is being cleared. His future is being secured. He will not fail. He will not fall. He will not be forsaken. And here, beloved, is the mystery you must hold on to. God says, what he prayed in weakness will be answered with strength. What he prayed in silence will be answered in public. What he prayed for himself will overflow into blessing for others. Watch and see, for his prayer is not only shaping his future, it is shifting yours. So I ask you again, do you believe? If you do, seal it in the comments right now. Heaven heard my son, and miracles are moving. Let your declaration be louder than your fear. Like this video if your faith is rising. Share it to bless another household. Subscribe so you remain in the flow of daily prophetic revelation. And if this word has touched you deeply, give a super thanks, not just as support, but as a declaration of agreement that your son, your family, your lineage will walk under the covering of heaven. Beloved, heaven says do not miss this moment, for the words you are hearing carry weight for your household. God declares, your son's prayer has been registered in heaven's record. It cannot be erased. It cannot be silenced. It cannot be ignored. What he released in secret has been written in fire before my throne. Archangel Michael declares, I have been commanded to guard what has been spoken. I have stood watch over every word, every cry, every petition. Even the prayers he whispered in exhaustion have become commands that I carry out in battle. This is very serious because when a son's cry rises, it stirs the whole of heaven. Sweet soul, God says, I have seen the pressure on him. I have watched the weight he carries, the struggles he never told you about, the heaviness he thought he had to bear alone. But hear me, I did not allow the burden to crush him. I did not allow the storm to drown him. I sent angels to strengthen him when he felt weakest, and I will continue until his victory is complete. Archangel Michael declares, I have cut down arrows in the night. I have silenced voices of accusation. I have torn up plans written in secret places. Nothing will stand against the decree spoken over his life. Beloved, the Spirit says this to you. Do not fear the silence, for silence is the season before suddenness. Do not fear the delay, for delay is the womb of destiny. Do not fear the unknown, for I am shaping the known in hidden places. Your son's prayer has triggered sudden shifts. Already doors are loosening. Already opportunities are forming. Already alignments are moving toward him. Soon, what was hidden will be revealed in full light. This is why heaven is calling you to act in agreement. Speak it now. Declare it with boldness in the comments. Heaven heard my son, and the answer is unfolding. Do not hesitate. Let your faith type it out as proof of your belief. Like this video to stamp your agreement. Subscribe now so you remain connected to heaven's daily confirmations. Share this message, for there are other parents who need this urgent reminder. And if you feel led, release a super thanks as an act of sealing this word over your household. For every seed of faith produces harvest in due season. Precious one, listen closely. God says, your son's cry has done more than reach me. It has shifted the atmosphere around him. Where doors were locked, they are now cracking open. Where chains were heavy, they are now breaking. Where darkness whispered, light is now speaking louder. His prayer has rewritten the script of his future. Archangel Michael declares, the old traps are no longer active. The snares are dismantled. The curses are reversed. The very ground that resisted him will now serve him as a platform for victory. Beloved, do not underestimate what you are hearing. This is not just comfort, it is prophecy. God says, your son is a vessel of blessing, and his cry has preserved more than just his own life. It has preserved your family line. It has preserved inheritances you thought were lost. It has preserved promises that looked buried. His prayer is the key that has unlocked them. Heaven says, expect restoration, expect joy, expect reconciliation, expect doors to swing wide, and here is your cliffhanger, your glimpse of what is about to arrive. God says, your son prayed for one thing, but I will answer with many. He prayed for relief, but I will give restoration. He prayed for help, but I will give honor. He prayed for strength, but I will give success. Watch carefully, for in the days ahead he will hold in his hands more than he asked for. And when he looks at you, he will say, Heaven heard me. Sweet soul, do you receive this word? If you do, declare it boldly now. Heaven heard my son, and miracles will overflow. Write it in the comments until it takes root in your heart. Like this video as a prophetic stamp. Share it to encourage another family that feels forgotten. Subscribe to remain in the flow of heaven's daily revelations. And if this word has stirred your spirit, bless this work with a super thanks to agree with heaven's covering over your son. Heaven says, the testimony is near. The proof is on the way. The miracle is already unfolding. Be ready to rejoice, for the tears that watered the soil are about to bring forth fruit.